Thanks to my Ko-fi supporters that make these videos possible. You can also get a deck review on my weekly Tuesday and Sunday streams. It's the best way to support the channel. Hello everyone. Once again, here I am reviewing viewer decks. In case you haven't watched one of these before, I basically take lists from people in my Discord, link in the description, and help them upgrade or otherwise tweak their deck in some way. It gives a nice alternative to those unable to make my deck review streams I do on Tuesday and Sunday. Anyway, we have 3 decks today, so let's get started with Rui's Zahur Glory's Past aggro deck. It's an aggressive zombies list with a backup living death aristocrats plan. According to Rui, it never feels ahead despite putting on decent pressure. Rui also mentions that they want more interaction in aggro. Notably, we're working with a budget here. Rui specifically asked for no expensive inclusions. With the problems identified and the restrictions set, let's dive into the list. My initial thoughts are I quite enjoy the Teysa Orzhov Scion here. It has a lot of fun play patterns with the commander making 2/2 black zombies that then die into spirits with her out. It's also kind of vital that this deck get a 1-drop out there in my playtesting, as starting your engines with Zahur on 2 is incredibly powerful when you can immediately swing to rev up to 2 speed. That being said, I think the 1-drops this deck packs can be improved greatly. Soul Warden is no Guide of Souls, and Greedy Freebooter and Cryptgas style weenies aren't the most impactful of cards here. My final 1-drop cut will be in the form of Champion of the Perished, which does feel a little too dead as a late game top deck, which has me wary of its ability to perform. Stalactite Stalker will be my first addition here. Its menace making it valuable early and its removal making it valuable late. Next up is Crypt Breaker, which is a broken advantage engine in any strategy that can regularly make a stream of zombie tokens. Lastly will be Kami of False Hope, a fog effect that can be repeatedly returned by something like Lost Monarch of Ifnir, Sidisi sacrificing a zombie token, or Redemption Choir in the late game, allowing you to keep up aggression without having to worry about blockers, while acting as that 1-drop to get that oh so important speed trigger. Next up, I'll be cutting some of the slower cards that don't lend themselves well to this deck's aggressive lean. That being Oversold Cemetery, Patchwork Banner, and Heraldic Banner. These anthems might seem like strange cuts to some, but you only need to look at On Wings of Gold or Caretaker's Talent that are already in the list to see the bar for an effect like this is much higher than these are performing at. Mediocre Mana Rock on top of mediocre anthem effect means mediocre card. These are getting cut in favor of some faster additions. I'm also cutting the dredge card Golgari Thug here for a different mill option I'll add later. Filth is an awkward inclusion in a deck without Urborg, and Ruthless Lawbringer is a card I want to like, but I just keep mentally comparing it to Vindicate or the value an instant speed spell like Anguished Unmaking would bring here, and I just can't like it even if it has creature synergies. The cards I'll be recommending instead are Selfless Spirit to protect the board some, Living Death for a big explosive late game move, Teysa Karlov, not only because she'll double death triggers, but also because of her ability to give every token vigilance and lifelink, which lets you attack and then still tap the tokens to an effect like Convoke or Crypt Breaker. Speaking of convoking, Hoarding Broodlord is a great addition to any go-wide black deck, and you can't have the Broodlord without Saw in Half. Saw in Half also pairs nicely with the Grim Servant that's already in the list. As foreshadowed, Anguished Unmaking will be the next addition. It's just a very good removal spell that is nigh unstoppable besides counter magic or phasing, all at instant speed too. The last card I want to see here is a weird one, but legitimately I've been looking for a home for it for a while now, and this might just be it. Lolth Spider Queen is just a hilarious card, and while something like Jazal Goldmane that can be grabbed off Lively Dirge or Starlight Spectacular would probably be the better addition here, she's just so cool. So in the end, we cut down some of the clunkier top decks for ones that are more live late in the game while still being early drops, as well as some of the slower graveyard value synergy pieces, and went up 10 cards that increase the deck's consistency and aggression, all for only $11. Thanks for getting a deck review, Rui. Next up is Ayara with a Kangee Sky Warden Flyers deck. This deck, according to Ayara, has issues pressuring life totals. This deck is aiming for bracket 3 with no combos. This deck just kind of has low card quality overall, in my opinion, running a lot of cards that just don't have worthwhile effects for their cost. In an aggressively bent deck, mana efficiency is crucial to success. To demonstrate my points, I'll just be making some 1-for-1 swaps here. Frozen Aether will come out for Kinjali Sunwing and Archon of Emiria. Platinum Angel will come out for Herald of Eternal Dawn. Goggles of Night will come out for Mask of Memory. Condemn will come out for Swords to Plowshares. Cloud Cover will come out for Linvala's Shield of Seagate. And Herald of War is awkward with only 10 angels, so a different versatile threat would be more nice to see here, like a Rite of Replication. And the last one-for-one cut here will be Sprite Noble for Starlight Spectacular. Also, as a board-based deck, I feel the need to mention that cheap counter magic or other protection spells are vital to keeping your board turning sideways. I'll be cutting the Planeswalkers here, the purely defensive Fog Bank, the Consuming Tide that hurts our board more than helps it, the slow and fragile Righteous Authority, the 2 Geist of Saint Traft creators in the form of Dorothea and Invocation of Saint Traft, and the frankly unneeded ramp package of Thran Dynamo, Kefnet's Monument, and Oketra's Monument, since a mid-rangey deck like this wants to curve out flyers into Kangee, not just ramp him out into an empty board. Speaking of curve, this deck's curve is heavy, so part of the focus with this wave of 11 additions will be lowering it with cheap cards with big impact. The deck only has 1 creature with an Enters ability, so Doorkeeper Thrall and Hushbringer are 2 drops that feel right at home here, that slow down the rest of the table while keeping you developing your board state. Selfless Spirit is also a card that lets you develop early, but later prevents a board wipe from ruining your life, and perfectly segues us into other cards that should probably be here for protection purposes. Negate is a good budget option here, but I'm actually going to recommend that you splurge a little for Dovin's Veto for reasons that will be apparent in a moment. Malevolent Hermit is also a fun option here, which after dying can be flipped into Benevolent Geist that will let you cast spells through your Dovescape. The birds still get made if the spell is not countered, by the way. A Mistrise Village over an island will help the synergy further, allowing you to jam one of your enchantments through the Dovescape. And why not include a Teleria West to go tutor for it over the new Benalia? So long as we're looking at lands too, I highly recommend a Restless Anchorage over the Tranquil Cove you are running. Just a flyer man land makes the world of difference here. Aven Interrupter is a nice on-theme hybrid disruption and protection piece. Remorseful Cleric is great grave hate. Staff of the Storyteller, Reconnaissance Mission, and Wojek Investigator are great card advantage options that don't entirely get countered by the deck's new Hushbringer and Doorkeeper Thrall. And to top off the whole deck, I'll recommend a Migratory Route to help fix mana and Generous Gift as a versatile removal spell. Oh, and cut Reliquary Tower for an island. We took 24 cards in total that were slower and clunkier than other options in the format and replaced them. We also found fun synergies with Dovescape to help create a few one-sided plays with it, all for less than $25. Thanks for submitting your deck, Alaren. Next up is Swaggary's Ayara, Widow of the Realm Brew. The issue he's having is protecting his sneak attack effects, which the deck is built around from removal. He's also interested in having some backup plan for sneak attacks in case he never draws one. The deck needs to stay bracket 3, but otherwise has no restrictions. In playtesting, I had a really fun time with the sneak attacks and the Master Multiplied, which makes for a fun combo. That and the 5-mana Perforos feels like some of the strongest effects in here, honestly. I don't know why we're bothering with all these weenies like Clockwork Percussionist though. Like yes, they work well if you draw a Cool the Unrepentant, but if you don't draw them, they're kinda dead in a deck that wants to blow people up with giant monsters. It feels like this deck has a weird aristocrat shell that doesn't utterly belong in a fling deck. That's typically just sacrificing one big object a turn. This being said, I'll be cutting a cool Clockwork Percussionist, Greedy Freebooter, Apprentice Necromancer, Disciple of Perdition, Dog Detective, Zulaport Cutthroat, Braids, Swift Warkite, and Eaten Alive. My final cut will be Arms Race, which even though it fits the theme, it's just far too mana intensive to be useful in this deck's ideal curve. Reanimate is a boring card, but it's hyper efficient and has been printed in the ground making it cheap, so it's the perfect inclusion here as a redundancy plan. Next, we're going to start adding some of those protection spells you wanted in the form of redirects. What's nice about sneak attacks is you can hold open your mana for them and use them at instant speed, making cards like Untimely Malfunction, Bolt Bend, and Return the Favor incredibly live. The last one also lets you double fling with Ayara if you're not faced with interaction, which is cool. With 7 slots remaining, I'd love to see Combustible Gearhulk, the infamous Cruel Claw, and Palantir of Orthonk to synergize with the high mana value plan. You can even cut the awkward Tainted Peak for a Blood-Soaked Insight, which is a huge 7 mana value bomb to hit off Gearhulk or the Palantir. The final 4 cards I'll dedicate to some minor artifact synergy with the 23 artifacts already in the deck. Those being Imskir Iron Eater, the colossal mana value Metalwork Colossus, Cursed Mirror, and Spine of Ishsaw. With that, your deck is a lot more efficient at flinging giant monsters and artifacts, and a lot more protected thanks to the redirect spells, all for under $30. And that's it for this video. Come join my Discord for a chance to get your deck reviewed on a video like this one today. And make sure to join me on Twitch on Tuesdays and Sundays to catch me doing this live, and maybe snag a slot for yourself through my coffee. Did you glean any cool ideas from this video that you'll use in your decks? Until next time, bye! I don't know why we're bothering with all these weenies like Cockwork Percussionist, whoa.